Morning class, this is Chris Curtis. Today's discussion, module number 6, we're going to be discussing a how-to on a fire-related scenario. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to check out your air pack properly, or basically the way that I like to do it. So to start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about our air pack here. Here at North Lauderdale, we use a Scott Next Gen 2 air pack. Scott is the make here. These are really, really good. They're not the most state-of-the-art packs that they have out there, but they're better than what a lot of departments around here have. So first thing I do when I take out my pack, is I take it out, I lay everything out, check my straps, make sure everything's fully extended, and then what I like to do is I like to check, obviously, check my air bottle, check the amount of air I have. The more air we have, the better. So what I like to do is I like to release the strap here. I have my quick release tabs here. You hear power down, it disconnects there, it means I'm disconnected. And then what I first do is I visually inspect my bottle. Make sure that there's no cracks, no dings, nothing that looks like it could put this bottle at risk for a rupture or a leak or anything like that. Check my connections here. Actually check my O-ring, make sure there's no leaks or anything like that. Everything's nice and tight. And then obviously, what I check is I check the amount of PSI or air in my bottle here. These bottles are 45-minute bottles with a rating capacity of 4,500. So we want to have this at a minimum to be serviceable is 90% of its rating capacity. So that would be 4,050 PSI. So we have these little indicators on here. So as long as we're above 4,000 or 4,050, this is a serviceable bottle, and we can use this to go into a fire or a IDLH environment. Obviously, you want to get it as full as possible. You can always top these up in the SCBA fill room. Obviously, like I said earlier, the more air, the better. So I visually inspect my bottle, make sure I've got enough air. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put it back in. Okay, I've got my quick connect here. You're going to actually, when I press this in, you're going to hear a noise that's going to connect. Okay, you hear a noise, I get some blue indicator lights and I get a green light, which means I have a good connection and I'm ready to go. I'm going to cinch my strap back down in here, make sure that it's not loose and moving around. And like I said, so now actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, like I said earlier, I'm going to make sure that all my straps are fully extended. We don't want to get jammed up as we have to bunk out rather quickly, hopefully in under a minute. So what I'm going to do now is on my remote gauge here, I'm going to check and see the status of my batteries. So if you come a little closer, you see what's going on. I'm going to hold my yellow button, my blue button. I'm going to get a 0 rating, and then it's going to say okay, which means my batteries are also good. As you can see here, I have green and white lights, which means that my batteries are good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. It means my batteries are good. This remote gauge here holds one 9-volt battery, and we also have, it's connected to these wires here, which also goes down. It's connected to my pass device, which is down in the pack. And this container right here, this holds 3 C batteries. So what I'm actually going to do now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to turn my bottle on, make sure that my purge valve is closed, that way I don't lose any air. Make sure my on-off button is also shut off, because that's a mistake a lot of guys make. They leave that open, you're going to lose extra air. So everything is off, everything is closed. I'm going to go ahead, got a good amount of air in here, I'm going to go ahead and turn my bottle on. What you're going to hear is you're going to hear my vibra alert activate, and then you're also going to hear my pass device go off. So let's see if this air pack is working. Okay, so there's my vibra alert. It's going off, perfect, and there's my pass device. So now this bottle is now turned on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, as you can see here, on the remote gauge, on this little indicator here, indicator, you can see that it's in the green, which means it's full, and it gives you a good reading here. So when we go ahead, I'm going to check here what my rating is. Okay, perfect. It's at 4,000 PSI. Okay, these are a little off, but obviously, okay, what you're hearing right there, that is my pass device. The firefighter is down for, I believe it's 30 seconds. 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, this is going to start to activate. After a full, I believe 30 seconds, it's going to go a full blown off alarm, and it's going to indicate that a firefighter is down. To reset the pass device, all you need to do is simply move the pack or hit this yellow indicator button here. If you're ever in a Mayday situation or anything like that, you can also manually, I'll let that go off so you guys can hear what it sounds like. It's pretty loud. If you're ever in an emergency situation, you can also activate it by hitting this red button here, emergency button. So once it goes fully off, we'll reset it. Okay, so I reset my pass device, 236 here. Good to go. Okay, so other things I want to check on this. I want to make sure that my straps are good, they're straight, they're not twisted, there's no frays. I want to make sure that my seatbelt or my harness buckle here is working and it's good. This is my cup holder here. I usually like to visually inspect my regulator piece, make sure that the gasket has a good seal here, that it's soft, it's not cracked or anything like that. This is my lock piece here. I want to make sure that this can actually connect into my mask. Okay, it's another thing you always check in the morning. You always want to connect your mask right away, make sure you have a good seal. So make sure this is a very important piece here. And also on here, I have green indicator lights here. There's 4 lights on this here, each light basically being a quarter of the bottle here. So I've got 2 green lights, so that means I'm full. So what I'm gonna do to show you, I'm gonna turn this off now. Okay, I'm gonna turn the bottle off. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bleed the lines here. Okay, so I've turned that off. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm slowly gonna turn, and we're gonna see, make sure that all my lights light up here. So right now, this is full pressurized line, so let's go ahead, let's release some of that. Okay, all right, so right now, I'm about 50. See a yellow light on here? Means we're at about 50% of air in the line, so now I'm gonna let it all the way down. When we get into that red, the viber alert's gonna go off. There you go. Okay, it's fully bled. Another way to tell is you can also look on here, on my air supply gauge here. Beeping now means that my line is bled. My pack is ready to be turned off. And to turn off the pack, you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna go yellow button twice again. Let me reset my pass one more time. Pack is off, my air is good, I've got a good air supply. Just other things you wanna look at. Obviously a lot of us have flashlights, and always wanna make sure your flashlight batteries are good. And you also wanna check out, make sure there's no wires or anything you could get jammed up on. With my buddy breathing connection here and also my UAC, make sure that it's nice and tight and tucked up in there. Other than that, just want to make sure, check my harness, everything else, make sure everything else is good. Again, want to check out your mask, make sure your mask is good, no cracks, no melting, anything like that. Anything in question, take out a service and get a new one. So that's my discussion on checking out SCBA, so thank you for listening.